The Gospel of Jesus Christ according to St. John. John chapter 13 verses 16 to 20. After washing the disciples' feet, Jesus said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. I am not speaking about all of you. I know whom I have chosen. But the scripture must be fulfilled. He who ate my bread has lifted his heel against me. I am telling you this now, before it takes place, so that when it does take place, you may believe that I am. Truly, truly, I say to you, whoever receives the one I send receives me, and whoever receives me receives the one who sent me." There are days when you wake up feeling a heavy weight on your heart without knowing why. You're still breathing, still walking, but it feels like your heart is breaking over something unnamed. Maybe it's a quiet betrayal, someone you trusted has turned away. Maybe it's the work you've poured your heart into that no one seems to notice. Or maybe you're trying your best to live rightly and kindly, yet the world keeps making you feel like you don't belong. If you are in that place right now, know that you are not alone. Jesus, the teacher, the Lord, also experienced that. In this passage from the Gospel of John, John chapter 13 verses 16 to 20, we see a deeply humble moment, Jesus washing his disciples' feet. He, the Almighty, bent down to wipe the dust off the feet of those who followed him. This is a picture of a love that is not proud, not demanding, but quietly and humbly serving. In Jewish culture at the time, foot washing was the task of a servant. When guests entered a house, it was the servant who would wash their feet as a sign of hospitality. And yet Jesus did this for his disciples, his students. This act was not a reversal of roles, but a message about the very nature of love. True love begins with lowering oneself. Not to diminish oneself, but to lift the other. Jesus said, "A servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him." A simple sentence, yet it holds the key to healing. When you are looked down upon, remember that even the Lord, the one sent by God, accepted the path of serving. Though he is the Son of God, you are not lesser for being humble. You are not diminished for choosing the way of love, even if no one acknowledges it. Think of Saint Francis of Assisi, a man born into wealth, who gave it all up to live in poverty and love. When he bent down to embrace a leper, people called him crazy, but it was in that moment that Francis encountered Christ. In touching another's pain, he found the presence of love. And just the same, when you live for others, you are walking in the light of God, even if the world does not see it. Jesus also knew that he would be betrayed. He said, "He who ate my bread has lifted his heel against me." That kind of pain cuts deep, not from an enemy, but from someone close, someone who shared meals, who lived and walked with you. But Jesus didn't respond with anger or resentment. He chose to speak of it beforehand, so that his disciples would not be shaken when harsh realities unfolded later. In the book of Psalms, this line about betrayal was once a lament from King David. "Even my close friend in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted his heel against me." Psalm chapter 41 verse 9. But Jesus does not dwell in pain. He says, "So that when it happens, you may believe that I am." That is a promise. Whatever happens, He remains present. Though people may change, He remains faithful. There is an old story about a poor farmer who would walk over the hills each day to fetch water from a spring. He had 2 pots, one perfect, the other cracked. Every day, he carried them back, but the cracked pot only held half its water. Feeling ashamed, the cracked pot said, "I'm sorry for causing you so much trouble. I'm not useful." The farmer smiled and replied, "Don't you see? I planted flower seeds along your side of the path. And every day your leaking water watered them. Now, the path home is filled with blossoms." Like that cracked pot, you may feel incomplete, not strong enough, or unseen, but the very drips you thought were waste are watering something beautiful that you do not yet see. God does not require you to be perfect. He only asks that you be faithful in small, daily things. Once, a young monk asked an elderly Benedictine, "How can I remain faithful in my vocation when monastic life feels so repetitive?" The old man smiled and said, "Don't chase after emotional highs. Faithfulness is not in doing great things, but in doing small things with great love. Washing dishes with love, sweeping floors with prayer, going to sleep with gratitude. That is the path to holiness." Jesus then said, "Whoever receives the one I send receives me." That means you, when you love, when you serve, you bear the image of Christ Himself. When you listen to someone with your heart, when you forgive even while still hurting, when you choose kindness instead of revenge, you are bringing Christ to others. And whoever welcomes you is welcoming Him. If you feel forgotten in this rushing world, let these words soothe you. You are sent. You carry a mission, and you are living in the light of the eternal Teacher. Remember, love does not have to be loud. It may be quietly cooking a meal for your family. It may be a forgiving glance toward someone who once hurt you. It may be silently holding your tongue when you could have defended yourself. These small acts, though hidden, are remembered in heaven. Once, an elderly woman sat quietly in a church, fingering her rosary, eyes closed in the sweltering afternoon. A young person walked in and asked, "Why do you keep praying the rosary? Does it even help?" She gently replied, "Each bead you see is a prayer, for someone I love, for someone I once resented, and even for myself. You see beads, I see tears, hopes, and words of forgiveness. And if today, your heart feels weary, just close your eyes and whisper, 'Lord, give me enough humility to bow down, enough strength to love, and enough faithfulness to never give up.' Because you are not alone. Christ has gone before you in love, and He walks with you still, even on the loneliest of paths. You are the one who is sent, and whoever receives you, receives the God of love Himself."